Cool,
So thank
cool.
you, first of all, for being here. And I'm just going to start with the basics, right? What is an OBE, out of body experience?
It's essentially where you're learning how to do a very natural thing, but controlled. So
Mhm.
you're essentially teaching yourself how to consciously leave the body. What people call the afterlife, trying to search for the afterlife, trying to find truths of that. What is that? What does it look like before the place that we came from before we were born? That's what an out of body state is, because
Mhm.
what it's doing essentially is you are in this physical body, and yet we think that this is reality. And the moment that we could learn how to control a far greater ability that we have to access more of the light spectrum, then you'll see that everything that we actually seek in terms of what we're looking for with information is searching back home. We're looking for that in some capacity. We're searching for that truth of home, and that home
Mhm.
is where you were before you were even born into the physical body. So
Sure.
controlled out of body state is accessing that space where you lower the electromagnetic field of the physical body to where your soul leaves. You stand up, you look at your physical body, and you can access the full array of the light spectrum, the full 100% of it.
And when people sleep or dream and they feel like they go into other realms, is that related at all to OBEs? Because it feels like other worlds when people go into dream state.
Uh, it is. So, to a degree, depending on the consciousness.
Mm.
So, when this is how cut off we are from the true nature of reality.
Mm.
We to the point where we think a dream is a dream when the dream is actually the real. This is the dream. Did you know, by the way, too, that the same things that materialize a dream are also the same things that materialize as physical reality?
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
So when it comes to a dream, the true reality would be that reality which there's no limitations. You could say the more controlled dream would be, all the distortions and what we're in right now. So dreaming, when you dream, you're accessing more of the array of light, more of who you are. So because we're so cut off by just perceiving reality from the brain, we think that somehow time is not accessible. Potential futures are not accessible. That time is linear. But then when you dream, you could attest, a lot of people could attest to this, where they are dreaming and they see prophetic visions. And then
Mm.
those prophetic visions actually happen and occur in real life. Now, how is
Yeah.
that possible? That's only possible because you're tapping into the multidimensionality of yourself, the field of all things, and you're tapping into that. And you can access yourself. You can access the other side through a dream as well. And it's what we do every single night anyways, but it's controlling these states, becoming aware of these states that you're in, to have full consciousness in that experience that you're having, where you bring 100% of your full consciousness there, where it's no different from this conversation. And then you
So
could you could have control over that state completely. It's not, you could change, sometimes you could change these things depending on
mhm,
what it is.
mhm,
But some things are written in stone. Just like
yeah.
you plan to come in here, some people plan to leave.
Yeah.
And when they pass on, you'll find, if it's a planned event, all of a sudden they're 100% healthy. There's nothing wrong with them, and then there you
Yeah.
go. Because
Yeah.
it's not, the physical body doesn't have dominion over this reality. The physical body does not have dominion over this reality. It does in terms of, you could touch things, grab things, but not in terms of true dominion over this
Right.
place. Your soul does, the other side does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you realize that the soul, we are on the other side, all of us are on the other side when we fall asleep. When the soul makes a decision to say, okay, I'm leaving, there's not one thing anybody could do, any doctor could do that could stop that event from occurring. It'll shut
Yeah.
the body down, and the soul will leave and exit. And you are seeing that. I would say that's what you're seeing.
And I guess that also relates to when people have deja vus, right? Because that means their memory, the dreams are stored in the memory. So they're kind of seeing it happen in real life. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
yeah, the deja vu is part of that. It's a remembrance of you've been here before because a part of you has seen that already.
Hmm.
Whether in a dream unconscious or even from the other side making an agreement to something, that's then it's you're hitting that fixed marker event, and it's deja vu. This is very familiar because it's familiar to your soul. That's for everything.
That's the
Every
thread.
every
Hmm.
everything through all creation is only possible because love is present. You see, so that's the fabric that holds everything together. You
Yeah.
you wouldn't have creation the way that we have it in terms of all the different realms, all of possibilities, if love was not there. Because when this is important to understand because it drives you back to the core of the truth of why this is true, what I'm saying. When you look at fear, fear in and of itself, what makes fear possible is loss itself. And in loss, you'll find no love because there is love. Love is not loss. You don't experience loss and love in the true divinity of it. Here with the physical expression, you could say, well, if I love someone, they die, they lost, they're passed on, so I lost them. But in terms of the infinite soul, the other side we're talking about, love is or loss is not possible because
Hmm.
even your passed away ones here are not lost. They're back home. So love, if let me go back to fear. So if fear is born from loss, then love is also born from freedom. And in freedom, you give birth to all possibility, everything in love, everything is accepted and possible. And it gives you the freedom to do that which you wish to do. That's love. No
Hmm.
judgment, unconditional love, because you cannot have unconditional love with a judgment. So everything in all of creation is based off that love frequency of
Yeah.
freedom. You're free to do as you wish. Make your mistakes. You could learn from those mistakes, but you are free. And there's no control. There's no control.
What we deem societal as right and wrong may not be considered right and wrong if you do it under the premise of love.
Well, here, people have stepped so far out of love of they've turned into a lot of loss, fear.
Mm.
So this could be fear of death, fear of losing their house, fear of losing money, fear of losing their job, loss, 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 loss.
Mhm.
And because we have a society now that's built on loss, 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 the only thing that is then born from that as well is control, 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 control.
Right.
And so society now is riddled with control on everything from how you live, how you do things, all putting limitations on you, on everybody, trying to control them. And the only real solution for you could say freedom, not just for a particular country or state, but the entire place that we live in is love
Mhm.
itself. And in the full love. That it's that is the only solution that gives freedom to every single person here. Love is, well, if we're talking about physically, physical love, laws, living within this reality, this physical body in the best way that we can from the other side, you could say Love is expressed here in terms of do that which you wish, cause no harm. And
Mm.
this is where you'll find that it's part of the universal law or common law, they call it.
Right.
And you'll see then a lot of the other laws that exist now are based off the maritime law, and etc. And then titles but full freedom here is based off common law. Do as you wish, cause no harm to an individual, their property. And we could
Understand.
express that physically in this physical reality.
Understand. Okay, I get
Y-
that.
Yeah. So when you look at the firmament, for people that need more context around this, they have written about this biblically. The water separated from the waters, the firmament. They have it in a lot of ancient tradition, whether it's Greek mythology, Hinduism. They even show you the layers of creation as well. So the firmament is just what we're contained in. It's our container. It's what we're in. It's
Hmm.
just waters above. It's a different
Yeah.
different layer of density of water that is containing this reality that we're in.
Okay.
When you're even outside of this entire place that we're in, there's so many creations to this. But when we talk about the firmament itself, um, you'll find what they talk about as in Hebrew, the Hebrew concept of the universe is they they talk about that we have a waters above us, a firmament. It's a basically containing force where the sun and the moon are actually inside of this environment. You also have there are so many of these through when people say ancestors, or we need to go back to our ancestors, we need to listen to what they used to do, or their knowledge. And all of your ancestors knew this. they
Right.
they talked about it, from the Greeks to the Mayans to the Indian Vikings, the uh, Hebrew, African traditions, Romans, the
Mm.
Freemasonry people,
Oh, yeah.
Freemasons, the 33 degrees, the people that actually control every aspect of people's life know
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and they use it against you. NASA is actually um, to give people a thing to you go to NASA. I want people to write the word Illuminati and then spell it backwards, spell Illuminati backwards and put .com. I'll take you to NASA's website. I believe. I believe it still does that.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Um, so you have all of these ancient traditions that I've talked about this container that we're in,
Mhm.
and yet NASA then is the only one that talks about this different planets, different all these things taking you further and further and further away, making you seem like you're very, very small and insignificant. But let me pose this question to you. What if the hiding of what we live in, and the reason for this was because once we realize what this place is, that we are within a creation, that opens up the possibility, well, if this is created, then that also means that our physical bodies are created, and it also opens up the possibility that this isn't we are infinite beings. We don't need to be in scarcity, that this place that we are in is abundant, has a toroidal field, and there's an infinite supply of all resources, all energy, free energy. And we
Right.
have a toroidal field within us, which makes us an infinite being, having access to this zero point as well.
Right. Right.
So this is also an image that people could publicly find, also showing very, very similar to the things that have seen with this firmament.
in there, the second one, they showed two different worlds, like an underwater world and the above water world. Was that a representation of as the waters below and above?
Whoa, that I know what you're talking about, and that's symbolizing a lot of different things. But yes,
Mhm,
that as well. But also there is life. You could call human life in the oceans themselves.
mhm. Yeah.
This is why you'll find a lot of even what they call UFOs going into the oceans, coming out
Mhm.
of the oceans, etc.
Right. Yeah.
We have, for instance, for people that are into to the moon or whatever, they say that we know more about the moon than the oceans themselves, than the ocean itself.
Mm,
So there's a lot more life in the ocean, even mermaids in the ocean. And people that may hear that or hear me state that, they'll say,
mhm.
okay, you are going too far, this is just fantasy. But people have studied this, they've documented it, and people have been killed for releasing information related to this because
Yeah.
of all of the other creatures that are still here. You see, we go into history. They talk about giants, okay, and we have proof of giants also through giant footprints, just the mere stature of the way that things were built in the past.
Mhm.
We also have fossilized remains of certain giant attributes.
And
Okay,
mountains and so forth. Yeah.
mountains,
Mhm.
we have the mesas, which are giant chop down trees as well when you look at the formation of how they are. So this past that we used to have, the history of our place, one was a lot larger, there was a lot more creatures here and entities here, a lot more diversity in entities, including these mystical beings, and some of them are not uh, they've never fully been extinct. Some of them are still present and hiding in the oceans themselves, including these civilizations. They've targeted a lot of um, land, like yours, um,
Mhm.
in areas in rainforests, etc. Because these again, this is not. I'll put the science to this, but when you have a forest or a certain energy field, it opens up more of that light spectrum,
Right.
opens up more of the light spectrum for things to be seen. And so
Right.
when you target certain areas, you destroy certain things, you destroy the, you could say, the vortex of energy that opens up a certain grid line or a certain opening
Ley
point
line.
for
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, a ley line
Yeah.
for things
Mhm.
to present themselves and come through different frequencies.
Mhm.
You see, and to even bring that even further for people that think, well, how could I see something pass? How could that happen? How could I see an entity traveling through a different frequency or another dimension into my visual perception, my physical body perception? How could that be possible? Well, we can access more of the light spectrum if we are supported to do so.
Mhm.
If the frequency, if the vortex of energy is supported, we could see through that different arrays, access more. There was a guy that even made a certain glasses, had to do with a certain dye that's been banned, and he was able to see slightly past this physical reality into other things. Let's just say other entities that are all around us that we can't see right now.
Right.
So in targeting these certain communities and targeting these certain areas is because they have such a massive energy vortex, a grid line that's still activated, like the Bermuda Triangle
Right.
is a place too
Right.
that
Right.
creates these openings for people to pass through, things to pass through as well, and for
Yeah.
communication to be there. Well, everybody is going to awaken back to the connection to all things.
Mhm.
They have no choice.
Good.
Um, you know, because even let's just use the most classic example. So you could be asleep your whole life, disconnected from life this entire time, going to the material life that doesn't really mean anything because you don't take it with you. But every single person will be on their deathbed, and then they'll question, and then they'll start to access the truth of all things again. Now that's the extreme example, but I'm not saying people are going to be on their deathbed. But the thing is the systems in today's world that has controlled people for generations, those systems are falling. They're making no sense to people anymore
Right.
because they have worked their entire lives in these systems based off control, and yet they have nothing to show for it because they've been debt slaves their entire life. And
Mhm.
now that they can't actually grab onto anything and the comfort of life is disappearing, now
Right.
they're going back to asking some basic things. One, what is this place really? Who am I? Why did I come here? What's the purpose of life? This is nonsense. And that opens up a floodgate back to the spiritual truth of who we all are, why we're here, what this place is, that we are the center of creation itself. And that
Right.
that awakens the divinity of each individual person, each individual soul. It awakens everything within us so that we bring heaven's reflection here on earth and we start becoming that here instead of waiting for it to happen based off waiting for a certain system of control that has controlled us our entire lives to give it to us, because all of these systems are not the root or are not the path to the root of freedom for people.
Right.
It's going back to what you're saying. You're talking about the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting point to make too, because a lot of okay, a lot of places are you could say have certain grid lines or portals that are still activated, which connect people to that location because that's inside the halls of Amenti.
The
Yeah,
image
I'll go back.
before, I was seeing on the top, for me, it's the top left corner. It's like a wheel. What is that?
Yes. So I didn't know what the like, accessing these layers of heavens, you'll find that this image is actually showing you the many
Oh,
different
yeah.
layers of
Mhm.
heavens within this creation, and things that I've seen by accessing more and more and more. This would just be them depicting a level, another layer, another level of creation within this construct that we're in. The stars are like fingerprints of the soul. So the stars are angels, and the angels are us, and the stars are access to certain kingdoms of what you could say, or access portal points of where certain souls come through and into this physical body. So the reason why there's light even within this creation is because of us, because we the souls are the light that gives light to this place. And if we
Right.
were all removed from this place would be nothing but darkness.
So we are that energy, that kinetic energy moving
We
through.
are. W-
Yeah.
We are, and as above, so below. The stars are shining because we are the ones that give it light to shine because it's us. It's
Right.
a feedback loop. As above, so below. The sun, based off what I've seen, is basically the bridging through light from all of the different creations within this construct that we're in. You could say the reason why the sun is shining is because of us, yes, but it's also one of those portal points as well. It's bridging. It's like a what the best way to say this. So if we have multiple different levels within here, multiple different dimensions for people that want to use that to understand it, the sun is bridging all of those dimensions in, and that's what's shining all of this light. It's not a physical. The sun isn't a physical thing that you could land on.
I got it.
Neither is the
Okay.
moon. Yeah, you'll find a lot of the stars too. Um, when you zoom in funnily enough, the Nikon P something camera that was the very cheap and accessible camera to zoom into certain things. They've I believe it was NASA canceled or stopped the sale of new versions of that or something like that. They bought something related to that to where it's no longer produced for people anymore, because it was very easy for you to see certain things like the stars are not, they act like they're shining through water as well, and that all of the ancient traditions like ancestors and the very churches that people go to, the old structures mapped out certain star frequencies to is cymatic sound waves, etc.,
Mhm.
to bring in that energy vortex frequency into physical reality for healing of the body, or even through different technology as well. When I was in Morocco, um, I heard something very similar too, and it wasn't through more targeting as well. They do have technology, sound frequency technology to basically try to distort people's energetic field. Also, to send certain frequencies of thought forms into people's field as well. And this is why you find people that have a weak, they're like the will
Their
of
aura.
their
Mhm.
yeah, the aura, the will,
Mhm.
their spirit, their will is weak. They're very easy to uh, get influenced
Manipulate.
in this way.
Yeah. That ties me back to religion and how religion has controlled people.
Well, the difference is that the creator of the religious um, point of view, it brings nothing but forever underneath something. Um, each individual soul is a creator itself, and so you could say yes, this place does have a creator and in more than one,
Mhm.
um but that doesn't necessarily matter, because even with that, it's not, these beings are no grander or greater than any individual. You
Mhm.
see, what people are looking up to when they look at God, and let's just say God is a thing, and they think that they're forever underneath God or could never be it or better, etc. Every single person is, let's just say, a an apple tree. So, or every soul is an apple tree.
Mhm.
Now, what people are viewing God is they're viewing the apple tree that has lived for out of 50 years, and it's a massive tree, and it's bearing all this fruit, all these apples, and it's massive.
Right.
And then that tree drops an apple, and then the little seed in there is you, and then you go from that seed, you plop in the ground, and you're looking up at this massive apple tree that has been alive for 50 years, and you're saying, wow, that's God. It's so beautiful, it's so big, it has all the power in the world, not realizing that you, the seed itself, you're in the dirt, and now you're starting to grow, and you're getting
Mhm.
bigger. Our perception is we will never be like that apple tree or even taller than it, but some seeds even get greater and bigger than that original apple tree.
Correct.
We are, we all of us as souls are the seeds from the apple tree, and all of us are God's itself. And even based off of that as well, some trees could be bigger, some trees are smaller, all unique. But none of those trees are lesser than, but they're all unique. And this is why each individual soul, replace it with an apple tree. We are all unique, and we are all God's. And we are all seeds of that could give seeds to others to be that very thing, to grow into that magnificent apple tree.
There's two levels to this. So manifestation in your reality, and then persons may be choosing strife in this life or success in this life, and how organic technology relates to that.
That's a double-edged sword question.
It
Um,
is.
And the reason for that is because it's when when you say that, and I because people are suffering, it puts people into, well, people are suffering because you're choosing this, and that's not
Mm.
necessarily true at all.
Oh.
That's not true at all, because it's some people, for instance, because of the current systems that are put in place physically, in this physical reality, the systems
Mhm.
that are put in place have taken away so many basic necessities of life for people, that they force them into an artificial system to produce and act like a slave, essentially a debt slave, to earn a living, to earn the right to live for basic necessities of life. When they were born here, they inherit what's here.
Yeah. Yeah, we're given everything we're needed.
Yes.
It's
And
here.
so,
Mhm.
because these artificial corporate systems, governance systems have you could say a monopoly over this place, and have taken basic necessities away from people, well, this is going to be suffering physically, poverty,
Mm. Right.
you know. But that isn't a you know, when I talk about the will of your soul, can you change things? Absolutely, you could change things, but
Yeah.
there are certain things that need to be done physically, like people having the basic necessities of life given back to them, for them to have this freedom, essentially, in this human experience,
Right.
you see. But when it comes to the soul, your will is, you can start to dictate certain things within the physical body itself. And in the classic example of this is your energy of stress will kill the body. It will start to literally kill your physical body. But if you were to put yourself, due to your own will, and command yourself, your cells, speak to your cells, and bring more love into your physical body, it will do the opposite of stress, which is giving life to the body,
Yeah,
life and nourishment to the body.
definitely.
We have the ability with our thoughts, to make reality bend to us in a way too. Think about it. Everything that we are experiencing now, for people that can't understand this, they think that it's too spiritual. Everything that you are experiencing now, from this microphone, from this interaction, wherever this is going to be hosted, came from someone's thought into a manifestation into this physical reality. The the that that location is very still connected in terms of the vortex of energy there. And this is why you'll find a lot of people that are there, just like certain locations that you go all throughout this realm that we live in. There are certain grid lines that are still more powerful than others, that it
Yeah.
hasn't been fully tainted. And it's interesting too, because you said before that island has been changed with ownership so many different times.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
So there has to be something here, right? That they're aware of that they want. Yeah. I know
well,
yeah.
it's not what's there. Okay, what's there is no different from what's supposed to be everywhere in
Right.
this whole place. But more places have been destroyed, and all that stuff heavily tainted, or the whole energy force of that area all
Definitely.
around the world. Different places have been just completely tainted,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's certain spots throughout this whole realm that we live in that are still very pure, or the energy still there, connected to more of the spiritual essence, more of what you were saying, ancestors. Yes. The younger
That's
generation
right.
sees that their basic necessity of life, there's no point in getting a career, working a job, working in construction, doing any of these things, because what's the point? First, I'm
Mhm.
not respected. They're not respected, nor are they even ever going to have the opportunity or a chance, no matter how hard they work, to even afford the basic necessities to even give life and build a family. And because of
Yeah.
this, they no longer want to participate in this. And so you have the older generation, some of them are completely aware of this, but some of them are not,
Right.
because they are too comfortable in
And
the
what they're doing.
illusion,
Yep.
in what they're doing.
Yeah.
And so with them dying off, falling away, the younger generation is stepping into the positions of power. Think about it. I was once 13 years old speaking about these things anyways. I was totally in this mindset. But
Yeah.
now I'm all over the internet, connecting to all these places, and I'm the younger generation now in position of influence in a way. And all of these younger generations have had enough. They no longer want to participate in the system because they see it's rigged. They know
Yeah.
all of the bullshit behind it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and and there is more of a wave of the younger people than there is the older generation at this point.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
and that
yeah.
in and of itself, it's where we place our energy into things. And you'll find a lot of younger people are not placing their energy into any of these systems. And these
Mm.
systems that have no energy from that from people, they fall,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
all these systems are supported by people's energy.
Yeah.
and
That's
and
true.
and because the younger generation no longer has anything to be taken from them, they have nothing to lose anyway. So what's you see what I mean? Well, yeah,
Right.
yeah, because they're putting a lot of chlorine, fluoride, and a lot of
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
birth control, estrogen into the water too,
Yeah.
which is also causing the massive hormone uh, imbalances within males and females too. This is why you get very, very low testosterone now within males, and because of all this chemical attacks as well within the water supply and also food supply as well. From the chemtrails, from the spraying of the skies, and the heavy metals in the sky, and which heavy metals also makes uh, people forget, memory loss, all these heavy metals.
Mhm.
So a lot of the sicknesses that people have today are from this overly uh, dosed, pretty much dosing up of the heavy metals from in the sky, the water, etc. But even through vaccines as well. But you'll find a lot of these things are being exposed. From the
Yeah.
vaccines are being exposed, from all these things are coming out now. And what I was saying before, it's I'm not having to go out the older generation, because it's not a lot of them are aware too. They're completely aware, completely awake to what's going on. Um, but I just know with the amount of information that people from 16 onward has, and also the older generation has as well, there comes a point where things can no longer be sustained when people are awake to things. They just cannot be sustained. You'll go back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was very, you talk about vaccines being poison, you talk about heavy metals within the spraying in the sky, or in the drinking water. This is very much conspiracy. It was very much conspiracy back then, but
Mhm.
now it's turning out to be very much factual.
Right.
Even I believe it's even within the government, Trump and certain political figures, or have even spoken up about the very vaccine. How it leads to a lot of
Yeah.
autism and etc. But again, this was very conspiracy 10, 15 years ago, but not now anymore. And
True.
the thing is, all truth has been exposed to people, And in this truth being exposed, some people may be still on the fence, like, oh, I'm not sure, I'm not sure where to lean towards. And they're still leaning towards, some of them are still leaning towards, the appeal to authority complex, like the
Yeah.
authority figures of governance, etc. But again, that teetering effect is more going into the people's hands, and not necessarily just an appealing to authority complex of information, but more the masses are all waking up to
Mhm.
all of the lies and deceptions that have been placed on every single person here.
Mhm.
And they've lied about absolutely everything.
Everything.
Everything they've lied about, even from the very creation of this place that we live in. And funnily enough, the creation of this place of where we live in was even being, I think it was 120 years ago, is being taught in
Mhm.
school too. But anyways, think about the scene in Narnia, the where the lion. It's see if this pings, but the lion. They're on the ocean, the beachfront, and you have the mouse and them coming on the boat to the lion, and then the mouse says, "I will lay down my sword to enter your place," and then the portal, the waters open up like a portal. He says,
Mhm.
"So,"
Mhm.
and then he walks through it. So that's what Antarctica is. It is a bridge to the other heavens within here. That's why you'll find a lot of places like New Zealand, like a lot of
Mhm.
places that are connected very close to Antarctica. A lot
Greenland.
of the
Mhm.
a lot of the elites go there a lot. The Antarctic Treaty is there. It's not for the penguins or anything, but it's protected because when you go there, one, you'll realize that the firmament.
Mhm.
You realize that. You'll also realize that a lot of the advanced technology from the other races that used to be here, angels, elemental beings, giants, is still there. You have
Mhm.
a lot of the body still in stasis. You see the cloning is a big one too, because we cloned a dog, they've cloned humans, but a lot of these original beings that were here in the past, from the giants to the angels, etc., they put their bodies into stasis to project their consciousness into human form. The vaccines are you could say a part of that is to try to control the, well, they have technology that is so advanced, but you could say a part of it's trying to send heavy metals to suppress the is trying to suppress the your soul from fully its will, from
Mhm.
commanding the physical form and all of its abilities. That's one thing. The second thing is that you'll find people that have a lot of vaccines um, tend to connect into this hive mind thinking pattern. You could influence their thoughts and basically put something in their mind and make them think something repetitively. It's the same technology that they use with this sound frequency in the military industrial complex as well.
MKL.
Um, the
Mhm.
yeah, the frequency that you could hear, and um, but the cells of the body are like uh, they're very easy to be programmed. Like you could program them. You
Mhm.
speak to water, your cells of water, etc. Your
Yeah.
water.
Right.
Now, if you have a piece of technology inside of a vaccine that acts as a messenger to certain cells and things, and that message will constantly be blasting 24/7 to try to reprogram your cell expression, your gene expression, and if you have a weak spirit or weak will, you could say that that could be over, that could dominate and therefore be have the more influence. But the thing is that even people that have gotten vaccines and all these things, and they've doubled down and they've gotten all this stuff, once you
Yes.
realize who you are, your soul could override all of these things, and that's something that they don't want you to know. That's where they want to put you in. It's called hope harvesting, where you give up hope, which is give up your will,
Ah.
and you're giving your will, your energy to that belief. When you realize that, yeah, be aware of the stuff that's going on, but once you realize who you are, then your will returns back to you, and you have the overall authority over this physical vessel, and you can do what they call miracles. I don't know. I only had one thing on that. It was very briefly, but I knew that it was connected to the 10th heaven, 10th
10th.
10th creation with, yeah, 10th heaven, 10th creation within here. I've held a lot of events, and one of them was breaking down the 12 layers of this creation, and this was months and months even before this was even talked about through Atlas. And I even
Mhm.
talked about the 10th creation being called Atlas. And
Yeah.
so, as above, so below, or what have you. But the to keep it very brief, the three eye Atlas topic is basically just a entity, three beings from the higher levels of creation, just coming down, and that's all I'll say. But I don't have any more information related to where it's at or what's happening or what's unfolding related to that. Um,
Right. Thank
I just
you.
know that a lot of things are like we were talking about before, beings, entities. A lot of entities are here. A lot of entities are coming back here. Um, and yeah, I would say that this was part of that. To save, they're going to save everybody. What would a being of light do really for humanity? They would show them that they are their own savior.
They are the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, y- yeah. Yeah. There's many different beings here, many races here. I mean, there's a lot more to this reality that we live in. Like I said, past that, the limitations of the light spectrum that we have, that you'll find that the more that you become sensitive, or you open this up, or it becomes more activated, that you'll start to see a lot of things, like certain craft entities, beings all around us that has always been here, because
Yeah.
it's more, this is all just a revealing of what was always here. And so to answer that, it's in the shortest possible way, is yes. Well, I wouldn't call that a dream as such. You help others, the best way is, one, showing them that the door exists, and pointing it to them. But it's corny and tacky, but they are the ones that walk through it, because even if you push them through the door, sometimes that works. And sometimes it actually works very successfully. You can push them right through it, and they'll see, and it'll be, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. But majority of the times, if you do that, then they'll end up running back out and slamming the door, never opening it again until later on. So if you show them the door, and then you be the example of what's beyond that door, then they will want to cross it as well, and see.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when they make the choice to do it for themselves, then I mean, if everybody's going to, like I said before, no matter what, everybody's going to wake up. But now we're at a time in life, a time where it's that awakening is just going to happen, regardless of people want it to, people trying to hold it back.
Right.
It's just being brought to the forefront. It's going to continue to be brought to the forefront, because it's really the only real answers to, and solutions to, pretty much life. You know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it-
Thank you. I really, really
yeah.
appreciate
Thank you.
it, Darius, for this meeting.
Thank you.
All the
All right.
best.
I'll see you.